Welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And today the movie I'm reviewing is called Spiderhead. This psychological thriller is now playing exclusively on Netflix. It's rated R. And in fact, this is director Joseph Kosinski's first rated R movie. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute when I give you tips for parents. It's an hour and 47 minutes. And the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B+. I actually enjoyed this movie. So let me give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, as well as tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny and interesting lines, and recommendations for other movies that are sort of similar that I think you might also like if you like this one. All right, so this is what the story is about. In the near future, convicts are offered a chance to volunteer as medical subjects to shorten their prison sentences. Interesting concept, right? One of the prisoners is asked to take a new drug capable of generating feelings of love, but he begins questioning the reality of his emotions. The idea is based on a dystopian short story by George Saunders. All right, so there were plenty of things that I liked about this movie. First of all, I've read quite a few negative reviews about it, but I really did enjoy it. Some people will have a hard time believing Chris Hemsworth is a very intelligent scientist in the film, but my opinion is, who cares? It's Chris Hemsworth. People immediately think of Thor, of course, when they see him. And I'm happy to say that he got an opportunity to stretch himself with a very different kind of role. And I thought he did a great job. He showed incredible range of emotions. And again, I just enjoyed his performance. We also get to see Miles Teller. Now, we just saw him in Top Gun Maverick. So if you're a fan, you're going to be happy to see him star in another movie so soon. He did an excellent job in the movie as well. What's interesting is director Joseph Kosinski directed both of those movies, Top Gun Maverick and now this new one. We get to see a fight scene between Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. Guess who wins? I'm not going to tell you, no spoilers, but they both have really good chemistry together, I thought. There's also a really fun soundtrack. I got a kick out of the names of the various medications. Because the movie focuses on emotions, I love that the camera zoomed in on people's faces often, and then during the action sequences, zooms out so you can see what's going on, kind of scans the room so you can kind of get an idea of other things that are at play. Anyway, I thought that the cinematography and camera work was good. I also liked that there were so many interesting themes about morality in the film. Some might say that this movie doesn't dive deeply enough in any of them. That might be true, but I like that there were so many things that people could talk about together after watching the movie together. For this movie, I thought that that worked. And I'll tell you some of the themes here in just a minute. There were some humorous moments that actually made me laugh out loud. And I was pleasantly surprised that there were no spiders in the movie because, you know, spiders is in the title, but it's just the name of the prison where this whole movie takes place. But I was worried that it was going to be based on spiders. It's not. If it was, I totally missed that. And I guess I'm happy about that. The director does a very good job of making you feel uncomfortable during most of the scenes, partly because of what these people are being asked to do, their reactions, the people who are asking them to do the things and their motivations. And so the whole time you're just like, and that's good. I love it when a movie really makes me feel something, even if it is discomfort. Some of the things that I didn't like include the fact that while I do love Chris Hemsworth in any movie, some viewers are going to have to suspend their disbelief in him again as a serious scientist. I didn't have a problem with it at all. It would have been fun to get to know a few more of the inmates better. We really only see just a handful, and we really don't get to know them that well, mostly Miles Teller's character in depth. And then I take that back. There is another one. And then there are sort of periphery characters. And then there's just, you know, inmates wandering around and we never learn anything about them. Anyway, Journey Smollett is that other character that I was just talking about, who also is a prisoner, and she does a very good job. However, she giggled and laughed at everything Miles Teller's character said to her in Act One, which was a little annoying. And I was worried she was going to do that during the whole movie. I get that her character is supposed to kind of have a crush on him, and we girls tend to get giggly, but it just was sort of annoying. And again, I was worried that that's all her character was. The good news is there is some depth, and so keep watching. Some viewers think that the conclusion is just too ridiculous. And it is, but again, I was entertained. I had already suspended my disbelief and I went with it. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. It didn't ruin it for me. In other words, there are some bad CGI moments, but there are also some decent ones too. Not a ton of CGI in the film. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. I mentioned the movie is rated R. So there are unmarried couples who go at it on a chair, and we see lots of movement, some skin, sound effects, and again, lots of movement. So not something that you want your kids to see. And it happens several times. There's also suicide with blood splatters, profanity, including F-bombs, talk of murder, portrayal of a deadly car accident, and violence. Some of the themes that are worth talking about are pharmaceuticals, the power of that industry, and the morality and ethics in that industry for sure. Medical testing on human guinea pigs, guilt, crime, trust, honesty, responsibility, handling your emotions, prison, love, genius, self-forgiveness, free will, and choices, accountability, and consequences. And we could spend a lot of time talking about each one of those. Like I said, they're all presented and definitely worth talking about after you watch the movie. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines and put them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. And I do so to give you just a flavor of the movie, so you kind of know what to expect a little bit. So one of the funny lines is spoken by Jeff. He's played by Miles Teller, and he's talking to another character. And so he says, "Hey, is there a drug to make you forget?" Bleep, and he swears, and I don't swear. So anyway, he says, "Is there a drug to make you forget stuff?" And the other guy, Dave, says, "Yeah, it's called old age." And as I age, I'm like, yeah, that's actually true. And then it always makes me laugh when movie characters say something about millennials. And so Chris Hemsworth is explaining something and the person's, not getting it. And he just kind of looks and he says, "Millennials, huh?" I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. And then I'll share an interesting line with you. This one is spoken by Steve Abnesti, who's Chris Hemsworth's character, the scientist. And he said, "Better to think someone's dead and find out they're alive." And I thought, well, that's an interesting line. And then I loved this line where his character says, "Beautiful people get away with too much. And I say that having benefited myself from time to time." Now, he's saying that as his character, but his character is the gorgeous Chris Hemsworth. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny. And then I mentioned that one of the themes is about self-forgiveness. And I really liked that. Miles Teller's character says, "I wish there was a self-forgiveness drug. You take it and everything starts over." And I would imagine every single one of us would agree with that, where you get a restart, you get a do-over, right? At least for me, I think that very often because I just will say or do dumb things. And I'm like, why did I say or do that thing? Let me erase that from everybody's memory, erase it from my memory, and let me do better next time. All right, so that's it for the review, but let me give you recommendations for a couple of other movies that are sort of similar that you might enjoy. The first one is Black Mirror. Now that's got many episodes, and a lot of people are comparing this movie and saying this movie could have been a Black Mirror episode. So if you like that TV series, then I think you might like this movie. And then another interesting movie is called Side Effects, and it has to do with emotions, pharmaceuticals, relationships, not the exact same storyline, but some interesting ideas in that movie as well. Okay, that is it. I hope if you watch this movie that you do enjoy it as much as I did. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.